All right, what if the power grid for, say, an entire continent just went down in an instant? And no, that's not science fiction. Believe it or not, it's a real threat. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this secret system that's being built right now to stop a total blackout and, keep the lights on for the most critical parts of our society when everything else goes dark. So check this out. This isn't some dramatic movie tagline. This is a direct quote, a warning from a U.S. defense agency. And when a group like that uses words like imminent and says our critical infrastructure could just cease to function, I mean, let's be real. They're talking about a world with no power, no communication, no modern medicine. That is the very real threat we're diving into today. Okay, so to really get why the solution is so, radical, we first have to look at the threats. I mean, what is it that's keeping military planners up at night? Let's break it down. So the threats really fall into a few big buckets. First up, you've got Mother Nature herself. Think a massive solar storm, something like the Carrington event back in 1859. That thing was so powerful, it literally set telegraph offices on fire. Wild, right? Then, of course, you've got the man-made stuff. A nuke detonated way up high in the atmosphere could create what's called an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse that basically fries all electronics. And finally, you have the more surgical threats. We're talking sophisticated cyber and electronic warfare, exactly the kind of thing our adversaries are pouring money into right now. Yeah, so forget about your typical local power outage from a thunderstorm. A major event like this could instantly create a dead zone that stretches for thousands of miles. I mean, just really think about that for a second. No power, no internet, no phones, no ATMs, the absolute bedrock systems of modern life just gone in a flash. So how in the world do you even begin to defend against a threat that could span an entire continent? Well, the answer is kind of surprising. You don't. You don't try to save the whole grid. Instead, you build these islands of survival. And this life raft has a technical name. It's called an island mode microgrid. And the idea behind it is actually brilliant in its simplicity. It's basically a small, totally self-sufficient power system built for just one critical place. Like a hospital or a key military base. It can generate its own power, store it, and operate completely on its own. So here's how it works in a nutshell. The second the main grid goes down, the microgrid's brain senses it, and boom, it instantly disconnects itself. It's kind of like a super smart circuit breaker. So to the whole world outside, it's a total blackout. But inside that little microgrid bubble, the power stays on. Critical operations just keep on humming along without missing a single beat. Now, this technology is obviously a huge game changer for national security, but that brings up a really big question, right? We all know how government purchasing works. It can be famously, painfully slow, just bogged down in red tape. So how on earth could they fast-track something this critical? Well, it turns out the government has a secret weapon just for situations like this. To get critical technology in the door quickly, they have something that's basically a golden ticket, a way to just bypass all the usual bureaucracy. So think of it like this. On one side, you have the traditional way, a super slow competitive crawl that can literally take years. But on the other side, you have the fast track. It's a special kind of contract called an SBIR Phase 3. This thing lets the government completely skip the line and award a contract directly to a company that's already proven its tech. No competition needed. It's a huge deal. Honestly, this contract is the key that unlocks the whole thing. A company that's already gone through the initial government research phases and proven its technology can get one of these golden tickets. It basically pre-approves them, which means any federal agency can then hire them directly for these massive projects. It just slices through years of red tape. But okay, even with the right tech and this magic contract, it's still not quite enough. I mean, we're talking about incredibly complex projects. You need one final, crucial piece of the puzzle. Someone to act as the master coordinator, the one who brings it all together. And this really shows you how all the different players fit together. You've got the federal agency up top, they're the customer, the one with the problem. Then you have the prime contractor, the company holding that golden ticket contract. Down below, you've got all the subcontractors, the engineers, the construction crews, the tech firms doing the hands-on work. But see that role in the middle? That's the key. The program orchestrator. They're the glue that holds this whole thing together. So what is a program orchestrator? Well, you can think of them as the project's mastermind. They're the ones who take a big, vague government need, like, hey, make this military base resilient, and they turn it into an actual, concrete, buildable plan. They're part architect, part dealmaker, and part CEO for the whole program, putting the right team together and then steering the ship from start to finish. Okay, so let's recap. We've got the threat, we've got the tech to solve it, we've got the special contract to buy it fast, and we've got the team structure to build it. So now, let's zoom way out and talk about the absolutely breathtaking scale and cost of what it would take to actually do this. All right, let's start small, or, small in government terms. To protect just one critical facility, we're talking a single military command center or a city's emergency operations hub, you're looking at a price tag of around $5 million. Okay, but what happens when you're not just protecting one building, but the vital organs of an entire city? You want to create a whole resilient network for the hospitals, the water treatment plants, the communication hubs. Well, the scale just explodes. Now you're looking at something closer to $200 million. And now, the ultimate goal, the big vision, creating genuine resilience on a national scale. At this point, the total investment could easily blow past $10 billion. That's billion with a B. We're talking about a historic undertaking. Seriously, on the same level as building the entire interstate highway system. So, what's the bottom line here? The technology to do this, it exists. The fast-track government funding mechanism, it's possible. The playbook for how to actually build it, it's proven. So the question really isn't, can we protect ourselves anymore? The real and much harder question is this. Since we can't save everything at once, how do we decide what's worth saving first?